Welcome to the News on Zodiac. This afternoon, you're with me, Robert Kalua. Let's have a look at the headlines. DPP ends with delegates endorsing party president Peter Mutharika as torchbearer in next year's election. Vice President Michael Usi justifies his unprecedented decision to greet his former tailor on the streets of Blantyre. And Department of Immigration says Malawians should expect improved service provision beginning today, Monday. We've got this in many more, please to stick around. We start with news that the Democratic Progressive Party elective convention, which started yesterday, has ended today with delegates endorsing party president Peter Mutharika to represent the party in the next year's general elections. The delegates have, among others, elected Joseph Mwanamveka, Bright Msaka, Alfred Gangata, and Japi Mhango as the party's vice presidents for the Southern, Eastern, Central, and Northern regions, respectively. The party has also endorsed their new constitution. Well, with the details, here's Kasimau.
The Democratic Progressive Party elective convention, which started yesterday, has ended this afternoon. Among others, during the two-day conference, the party has endorsed President Peter Mutharika as its torchbearer for the next year's tripartite presidential elections, and the party has also elected new vice presidents. It has maintained some, but it has also elected new vice president. Like in the southern region, the party now has a new vice president in the name of Joseph Mwanamveka, and in the central region, it has Alfred Gangata as its new vice president for the center. A number of positions have also been filled, and like the director of the elections, political affairs in the party is now Ben Kiri. Director of Women is now Mary Navicha. Several positions have been filled, but on the constitution, you remember that the party had a review of its constitution, and some of the new things new elements in the new constitution are that from 2029 the party will only be having one vice president, and the party is also has also introduced a system whereby its members will be required to contribute something like money to the party. According to one of those that were facilitating the review process, Charles Mhango, they have done this to make sure that the party does not depend much on or rather the party is sustainable in its way of doing things. So they have said that they have introduced that system whereby party members will be contributing a little something to make sure that the party sustain its activities. So several things have happened, but in the closing, chairperson of the convention steering committee, George Chaponda, said that the party president delegated him to speak, to deliver the closing remarks. And in the remarks, he only said that the president congratulated those that have won and them to make sure that they work extra hard to make sure that the party bounces back in power in 2025. So basically, that's some of the things that have happened here at the Comesa Hall.
Vice President Michael Usi has clarified his unprecedented decision to greet his former tailor on the streets of Blantyre, stating that it was a normal gesture despite attracting criticism from some individuals. A video clip of Dr. Usi bypassing his security detail and sprinting to greet the tailor circulated on social media last week, prompting some people to question his actions as unpresidential and a security risk. Let's hear more from Steve Zimba.
Dr. Michael Usi has for the first time visited Mzuzu as Malawi's vice president and also as president of UTM. Addressing people at Shoprite roundabout in the city, Dr. Usi clarified several issues including leadership positions in UTM, saying that he has nothing to do with them as such positions are given by God. There have been reports of leadership squabbles in UTM, following the death of its leader Dr. Saulus Chilima in June this year. The vice president also touched on NIF loans, saying that government is aware that some people are struggling to access this money, but very soon things will improve. On a lighter note, Dr. Ausi justified his unexpected decision to move through the crowd and greet his former teller on the street of Blantyre last week. He stated that it was a normal gesture despite attracting criticism from other individuals. Mzuzu City Mayor Kondwani Brian Nyasuru, who welcomed Dr. Ausi to Mzuzu, expressed that the city is pleased to welcome its vice president for the first time since he ascended to the position. Dr. Ausi is in Mzuzu for state and political assignments. For Zodiac in Mzuzu, this is Steve Zimba reporting.
The Church of African Presbyterian CCAP has donated food and non-food items like sugar, soya pieces and soap to Chinteche Rural Hospital in Nkatabe to address some of the food challenges patients are facing there. Reverend Simon Simkonda of the CCAP Church says the donation has been made possible through funds amounting to over 200,000 from the church members. Mercy Banda, who is in the children's ward with her sick child, has commended CCAP for assisting with the items. Nobit Mzembe has more.
Reverend Simon Simkonda of the Church of Africa Presbyterian CAP says after receiving 20,000 kwacha from the church members, they decided to reach out to the sick at Chinteche Rural Hospital with food and non-food items, but also prayers.
It's our principle in our church. We have distributed soya pieces as leaders, soap, sugar. Cost almost 200,000. Our mission is to share the word of God to the nation, to people, so that they should come to Jesus.
Mercy Banda in the children's ward has commended CAP for assisting them with items like sugar, soya pieces and soap, which she says will address some of the challenges they are facing at the health facility. Banda has since expressed gratitude to the church while pleading for more support from other well-wishers. Sten Nyirongo, a nurse at the health facility, says such initiatives from well-wishers is a welcome development since patients need such help to complement their medication.
This development is welcomed because some of the patients lack some small items while they are admitted here at the hospital, and they should do the same next time they feel like coming again, and they are welcome. For the others who are hearing us, you are all welcome at any time.
According to Reverend Simkonda, the church has helped the patients on the sidelines of Men's Guild launch at its Synod of Chingoma in Nkatabe to work as fishers of men. Reporting for Zodiac in Nkatabe, this is Norbert Tambamtuvamzem.
Officials at Nkhotakota Wildlife Reserve say they have received a request from some community members who are involved in the trade of carbon credits. The members want relevant stakeholders to put in place measures to protect them from exploitation on the global market. Nkhotakota Wildlife Reserve Park Manager David Nangoma says the community members. Nkhotakota Wildlife Reserve Park Manager David Nangoma says the community members operating under Nkhotakota Wildlife Reserve Association, NAWIRA, are of the view that the current system on the market benefits some middlemen. Winston Kaimira has more.
Community leaders and some officials from government, as well as African banks, are some of the key stakeholders who met in Nkhotakota to review the community engagement strategy for the management of Nkhotakota Wildlife Reserve. During the meeting, Nkhotakota Wildlife Reserve Park Manager David Nangoma disclosed that there are complaints from community members who use the protected forest as a carbon sink that they are not fully benefiting from the trade. He said there are plans to engage government and other stakeholders over the matter.
There is need for government to look into the mechanics of how the whole process of carbon trading is being conducted by putting in place proper mechanisms of monitoring, proper mechanisms of ensuring that whatever is coming is really going to the appropriate communities on the ground.
During the meeting, Member of Parliament from Nkhotakota North East constituency, Overston Kondowe, complained that closure of the M18 road every night on a section that passes through the wildlife reserve affects transportation of goods, thereby reducing profits in some businesses.
If the Act prohibits the access of 24 hours, then the African parks who are managing this, they were supposed to bring in some mechanisms of controlling, making sure that there are two fences so that it's passable and there's no infringement on the rights of wild animals and game reserves that they are in.
The management of the wildlife reserve, which is now under African Parks, said there's need to address this matter while ensuring that rights of motorists are not violated and, on the other hand, protecting wild animals. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiac in Kotakota.
You're watching the news on Zodiac with me, Robert Karua. Let's have a look at the headlines as we continue. Well, DPP ends with delegates endorsing party president Peter Mutharika as torchbearer in the next year's election. Vice President Michael Usi justifies his unprecedented decision to greet his former tailor on the streets of Blantyre. Department of Immigration says Malawians should expect improved service provision beginning today, Monday. Moving on, the Department of Immigration and Citizenship Services says Malawians should expect improved passport provision services in the country beginning from today. The department's spokesperson Wellington Chiponde told Zodiac this follows system maintenance undertaken since Friday and is scheduled to conclude today. However, chairperson of the Malawi Civil Society-led Black Economic Empowerment movement, Robert Mkwezalamba, has challenged the government to find permanent means of dealing with the challenges. More in this report found by Elijah Pombo.
Spokesperson for the Immigration Department and Citizenship Services says the move is meant to reinforce and streamline the passport issuance system in the country.
As a department, we would want to reinforce our passport issuance system, and at the same time, we would like to streamline passport process in order to provide effective and efficient services to the general public.
However, Executive Director for the Malawi Civil Society-led Black Economic Empowerment Movement, MABLEM, Robert Mkwezalamba, has challenged authorities in the country to find permanent solutions in dealing with these challenges.
The only solution Malawi needs to get out of this problem is to ensure that we have a manufacturer company that can print and issue passports based on the need, and that can facilitate instant supply of passports. The cost will be reduced.
Currently, a local information and technology firm, eTech Systems, is offering the passport issuance services to the Immigration Department on a temporary basis following a system collapse at the Immigration early this year after the government had terminated a contract with its initial passport supplier, Technobrain, in 2021. Among others, the passport issuance system in the country has been characterized by congestion and system collapse challenges.
There is hope for improved food security among ultra-poor households which were hit by the dry spells and floods in Karonga, as 12,700 households have received 150,000 kwacha once-off payment covering 3 months to help them survive. Principal Social Welfare Officer for Karonga, Tiwonge Mbali, told Zodiac that following the disastrous floods and dry spells, most of the affected families were food insecure. Hence, the money will act as a safety net for their livelihoods. Details in this report by Adams Munani.
Principal Social Welfare Officer for Karonga, Tiwonge Mbali, said the provision of cash transfers to ultra-poor households is aimed at cushioning them from climatic shocks such as floods and dry spells by having a financial muscle to buy food to sustain their livelihoods. Mbale observed that each of the beneficiaries has received 150,000 kwacha once off, covering 3 months as part of scalable safety nets to improve resilience among the poor and vulnerable population, with some receiving transfers for 5 months on regular social cash transfer program.
We are having a total of 7,401 households for social cash transfer and 5,219 households from Climate Smart Public Works, totaling to 12,700 who have received the 150,000 Malawi kwacha. as a way of cushioning their households.
Some of the beneficiaries from Traditional Authority Wasambo, Joshua Msoy and Tuonge Mkandavire, said apart from buying food, they'll also use the money to venture into piggery and goat farming. The interventions are part of such support for Resilient Livelihoods project being implemented by the National Local Government Finance Committee with funding from the World Bank. Reporting for Zodiac, this is Adams Clement Undaning.
And that's about what we had time for in this edition of news. Before we leave...
Life moves fast, and so should your packages. Say goodbye to waiting and hello to convenience with Post Courier, your go-to courier service. When you choose Post Courier, you're choosing speed, reliability, and peace of mind. I can always count on Post Courier for quick and safe deliveries. They never let me down.
Mbatatisi ndi chakudya chokoma kwambiri. Mbatatisi yomwe yonse chuma kwa alimi otsogola komanso mavenda. Tsopano kwabwera mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma yomwe alimi akupha nayo makwacha. Chuma ndi mbatatisi yomwe imacha msanga masiku 90 okha, imayika kwambiri kupatsa alimi 40 tons pa hekta imodzi. Imapirira kung'amba ndi kuchita bwino ndi mvula yochepa. Imapiriranso kuchiwawo ndi tizilombo. Mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma ili ndi khungu lolimba, sisupuka ndipo imakhalisa ili bwinobwino komanso siphuka wamba. Ili ngulu la zakudya zokhutitsa ndipo imapatsa thanzi ndi mphamvu. Anthu ndi makampani opanga zakudya kuchoka ku mbatatisi monga chipisi, macrisps ndi zina akukonda kwambiri mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma. Pindulani thanzi ndi ndalama ndi mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma. Uthengawu akukupatsirani ndi International Potato Center ndi thandizo lochokera ku the Embassy of Ireland kudzera ku RTC Market Project.